Alright, so I just remembered I forgot to go over some stuff. Um, During training, you notice your dog pretty much just shakes his whole body like how they do when they dry off. If they get to that point and you didn't mess with them at all and they just keep doing that every time you try to get them to train something, they're not paying attention. Pretty much on purpose. They're just like, what are you going to do about it? I don't care. A lot of times people tell their dog to sit. Oh, you didn't sit. That's a fine. Go on. Have about your every day. And then they go into training and they think, oh, I'll just keep doing that because that seems to be working. They'll tell their dog, okay, sit. And the dog's just like, the fuck you want? I need to stop cursing. But that's pretty much what's going through their head. Like, I don't want to. And you have to teach them, like, hey, when I say to do something, you got to do it. Because then you have a dog that runs all over you, especially if they're going through their teenage years, per se, about 8, 7, 9 months, depending on your dog. They'll go through teenage years, which means they're going to be pushing you. What do I get away with? What am I allowed to get away with? They're going to see, kind of like they're testing the rules. Here's the rules. And if you don't enforce the rules, the dog will just walk right over you. So, say for example, how I was saying before in the sit, if your dog starts to lift a paw while he's sitting, then what's to say he can't just stand up? You go to do a wait for your dog at the door. Hey, wait here real quick. And you go to walk away and he takes a step forward. And you don't do anything about it. Just sit there and like, this is okay. But in his head, he's like, this is okay. The next time you guys go to do a wait, maybe he takes 2 more steps. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. At each time he takes a step closer. Yeah, maybe he's not running out the door, but you know he's taking steps, and you're not doing a dang thing about it. So that tells the dog, that is okay. You don't have to wait. You're not, in a way, you're not really like teaching him wait at that point. You're just teaching him just to run to the door if I'm in front of it. But then that can go sideways real quick as well. Because say he's taking those steps and you're not doing anything about it. He's like, well, no, the door's right there. What's to stop me from running out? I'm like, what exactly am I learning here? There's just confusion there. Like, what do you want me to do? You're a bad teacher. So, I tell people, if you tell your dog to wait, for example, he takes a step forward, step up to your dog until he takes 1 step back. Then you try to take a step away, and every time he takes a step, maybe the next time he's like, oh, why did she make me back up? You go to back away, and he's like, oh, do I follow you? And he takes 2 more steps. Then you make sure those 2 more steps, he backs up. Or he learns that walking forward to you is what you want. But when you make him go back, those same amount of steps that he was trying to go forward, then you tell him, I stay right here. I don't move forward with you. That's what you're teaching him at that point when you make him go back to where he was. Sometimes, a lot of times right here is where I'll see dogs go, what do you mean I can't go forward? Ah! And they're teenage years, they're almost a year old, and they start really pushing their pet parent where they're just like, I can do this. And as long as you stick with it and say, no, you can't, then that's the only way they're going to learn. They have to know what they can and cannot do. And if you teach them there's certain things in your world you can and cannot do, and you kind of reverse those, they're going to get real confused. You can't run outside without my permission. I'm going to do it anyways. Oh, I didn't get in trouble. I'm okay. This is fine. This is okay to do. But you start setting standards, you don't do that. We're going to go right back to square one until you behave, and you wait for me to tell you can go outside. You do it each and every single time, then he knows, oh, I get it now. That's where people usually see a lot of issues with their dogs, like complete behavior change, because you have to realize during those teenage years, they'll be going through the hormones, same as people, where they're just like, I don't know how to deal with life. They're going to get frustrated real quickly, and that's when they really start testing you. What can I do? What can I not do? And you want to not let them get away with anything during that time. 5 months, they get curious. They pull more on the leash. Whether it's 4, 5, or 6, depending on the dog again. The curious stage. You know, I don't no longer need mom and dad. I can roam. I'm coming out of my little den, and I'm going to explore and I'm going to investigate because I'm curious. I'm going to go check it out. What in this life is dangerous and can hurt me, and what can I play with because it's safe? And that is where you want to kind of socialize a little bit before and during. Socialize them so they realize other dogs are not dangerous. You know, there's okay to play with other dogs. Also, you know, if there's something scary, like a scary sound, like the sound of a fridge or an ice maker, you let them know, like, this is not a scary thing. That's the best time to catch it, during their curiosity stage. Let them know that these things are not scary. Help the dog overcome, by giving them treats or what have you, giving them treats and let them investigate. Never pull them away from, say, if it's dangerous, yeah, you don't want them near it. Don't pull them away from it. But if it's safe, you know it's safe, let them investigate. Stop pulling them around and say, you can't see that, because if they don't investigate anything in life, they're going to be afraid of everything in life. And if you ever notice when you're training that the dog does a lot of this, does the dog have a skin issue? Have you taken him to the vet to see if it is a skin issue, or is it a flea issue? What have you? What is wrong with the dog? Is it the food making him scratchy? Does he need more salmon oil in his diet? Is it fleas? Does he have a bunch of flea bites he's trying to get to? What is it? Find out the reason. And if there is no reason, any of those reasons medically is not the issue is the dog. Saying, I'm not quite getting this. Like, kind of like a, what are we doing? And I notice a lot of dogs doing this. Like, we're training and the owner says, he only does this when we're training. He's so itchy. And I was like, he's not itchy. If he only does it when you're training. He's not itchy. He's not getting something. Let's switch it up. Let's do something he can do. Build that confidence. I can do this. And then move on to something else. Maybe we need to break down a certain trick a little bit more and do baby steps until where he is successful and can do the actual trick now. So I'll see someone like, dog, let's do it down. You know how to do a sit. And they forget, yes, you did a sit. Now let's do it down. The dog's like, did I do a sit or not? Did I do good? You didn't use my yes. And then they're just like, my dog's not getting it down. Pretty soon the dog just sits up. He's like, okay, weirdo, you're doing some weird stuff. I don't get it. Shut up. But if you see them do this too much during training, they're not getting something. You're like, hey, I need you to sit. Today, do a sit. And then they go run off and do something else because they're over it. They're bored. You have lost their interest. You are no longer fun. You are frustrating. They're going somewhere else. They're going to find something positive. So if that ever happens, change it up. Find out where they are successful and work on it. So I forgot to mention for the week 1 focus. For that week of just really trying to enforce that focus. Of course, there's a practice. Focus. Yes. Okay. Excuse me. When you're doing that, focus. Yes. Okay. Also do it when you're not asking for it. And what I mean by that is you're just walking around the house, you're going on a walk, especially a walk. You're just walking around the house and your dog is looking up at you like, hey, what you doing, person? Yes. I like that. I like it when you look at me. Makes me feel pretty. You know, you're just sitting on the couch, your dog's laying down, sleeping, maybe wakes up and looks at you. Yes. You know, pretty much any single time, I want you to pay so much attention to your dog that anytime he looks at you, you can catch him as soon as he does look at you and you say yes, so that he looks at you more. If your dog needs something, I'm gonna look to you. You know, I want permission, look to you. There's another dog over there, look to you. Can I have food? Look to you. Another dog's freaking out and I'm scared, look to you. We want to teach him that looking to you is the number one thing he should do first before anything else. And that'll really enforce him paying attention more to you, and you can work with him to do more things as well. So that was one thing I forgot to mention. Of course, you know, guessing everything he does right and making him sit for anything he could ever want, so you can use that as a please and thank you for everything that he does. I'll go ahead and go over the book just a little bit. Let me pause this real quick. Alright, so this is the book I was talking about, Puppy Beginner. Let me see. It has a bunch of different things in here. the agenda of the weeks. Let's see. You know, the at-home practice here. Get a little bit lower. Oh, it hurts my legs. Too fat for this. So yeah, consistency. You know, the definition of what you need to be doing and what these each mean. Consistency. Use the same words every time. Don't change it up. Someone else starts using a word, you're going to confuse your dog. It's never going to get trained. Teach everyone, hey, this is their word. Don't change it. And be stern about it. I don't care who they are. I tell every classmate, tell people at home, this is their word. Don't mess it up, or our dog will never be trained. I actually ran into a problem with that with a class member where my husband doesn't want to. My dog does not like walks. He thinks he can do whatever he wants. I'm like, what does your husband do? He walks with him when he pulls, and I don't. So now my dog just pulls constantly. He doesn't know pulling is bad. Well, yeah, teach him. Teach him the words. Teach him what he's supposed to be doing. Because if someone's teaching him the wrong way, someone's teaching him the right way, he's not learning anything. Because nothing's consistent. Everything keeps changing. He's confused. He doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing. Time, again, 5-10 minutes, as much as possible every day. Have like hour or two in between to kind of take a break, relax, enjoy your dog. Practice in real situations. You know, you're going outside, sit first. Now we can go outside. Someone comes to pet him, sit. Hey, you want to eat? Sit. Use it in any real situation. With each and everything you learn, use it in real life situations so that they learn it's not just this one place they need to be learning, it's everywhere. I want you to do this no matter where you are, whether you're in the mud, in the texture, the carpet, the hardwood floor, the tile. He can still do it. He can do it at a store, he can do it at home, he can do it at a dog park, he can do it anywhere. Because this might sound weird to us, but dogs, depending on where they learn, is where, like my training area, we learn how to sit. We learn how to focus. We learn how to target, touch, the mark word. We learn that in a class on a hard floor. Then they go home and they're like, I feel like I had to reteach them like they never learned it before. But when we're in class, they can do it. And I was like, you have to keep practicing in different areas. Because even the texture of on their paws changes. It's not the same thing. Again, have fun with it. Oh, this is the one I was talking about. It says mark and reward. It goes over what that is and how to do it. And in the notes, you can write down any notes you might think will help you. So in here, you can write down my mark word is yes. My reward, I use treats, or maybe you use toys. Maybe you just use petting because your dog doesn't like toys. Maybe he doesn't like treats. Seen it before. So I tell them, pet your dog. Let him know he's doing good. That's going to be his reward. It's all the scratches. Maybe a tummy rub, whatever. Every dog's different. They all have their own rewards. Different things you can use for the yes word, how to load it, you know, all sorts of different things in here. Let me see. Oh, here it is. So homework, catch your dog doing something right. Anytime they do something right, yes. Practice the focus, target, sit with no verbal cue and socialization. I will say this, I wouldn't work on socialization just yet. If they're just having like a little puppy play date off leash, that's fine. But if you want your dog to meet someone on leash, I would definitely wait until week 2, because there's some common mistakes people do. Because again, they're thinking their dog is a person and not a dog, and they don't realize certain dog behaviors and what they mean, and it can turn very, very bad. Yeah, anytime your dog looks at you, yes. Anytime he does something right, yes. If you guys ever go for a walk, the walk can be the most distracting thing in the whole entire world. All these different smells, all these different sights, all these different sounds. If you catch your dog looking at you at all on a walk, I want you to be so darn ecstatic. A lot of people get nervous or embarrassed. They're just like, oh, I can't do that in public. People might watch me. I don't care. I do not care what your excuse is. None whatsoever. Because what you're doing is hindering your dog, his ability to learn, and your ability to be able to bond with your dog. When you really, really need him to be paying attention to you, you're severing it right there by just being too embarrassed for people seeing you, training your dog to be the best he could be. So if you see your dog looking at you with all these distractions, and he's able to look at you, I want you to throw him a little party. Yes, that's a good dog. Yes, oh my gosh. Blah, 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 blah. So that he starts associating walking and looking at you as way more exciting than anything else that could be going around him at that time. Like, oh, there's another dog barking. Let me look at mom. She's more exciting, and I'm getting positive things from her. Like, anytime he looks at you in a walk, be ecstatic, be exciting, throw him a party. Just imagine a surprise party. Woo! It's exciting. It's just a burst of energy and loud sounds. You start getting embarrassed, like, yes, you did good. You are not boring. That dog's like, I don't want to look at you whatsoever on a walk. Why should I? You're not giving me a reason whatsoever. Look at that dog barking. He is more exciting. I'm going to bark at him. I'm going to go chase him down. I'm going to pull you down to get there. To avoid that, get over any fears. Help your dog succeed. Be excited. Help him. Because if you start doing, yeah, yes, he's not seeing it as positive. Again, tone. Yes! Yes! It's a big difference. You can even do that with people like, yeah. And they're like, oh gosh, she's not enthused at all. I'm going to go throw you this gift and throw it in the fire because she hates it. You go, yes, I love it. And they're like, oh, she likes it. Okay. Makes a huge difference. And it can make this huge difference in the dog. I'll send you this. There's also some games in here. I think it's like a little battleship game for you. It'll say, you know, how to use it and whatnot. There's also other things in here. Taking a treat nicely. There's things where you can kind of just stuff the treat in there and put your thumb over it when the dog is trying to bite you and he's like licking or whatnot. Hey, you can have that treat now. Goes to bite you. Yeah, you're being too aggressive about that. You can do flat hand. That way there's no chance for him to bite you and he's grabbing the treat like that. Or my favorite, doesn't work for every dog, but it is my favorite because I've seen it work with more dogs. Is when you go to give them the treat, you smash it in their mouth so that all they can do is use their little incisors right here. They can't go ah. Now they're going and get it just between their incisors. So you push treats enough and they're just like, oh, I know what she's gonna do. Gentle. And that's what I did with a lot of my dogs, like my German Shepherd. She was right there. That's why my back is hot. she's a big mouth breather. It's hot back there. But she was a massive biter, and I was like, what could I do to change this? And I tried this trick, and she's like, if I chew hard enough, long enough, she's gonna give me it. Now I'm gonna scratch the crap out of her hand. I'm like, that's not working. Let's do this. And she's like, yeah. Is it still there? Is it? I'm just gonna bite your hand. I'm like, there has to be a better way. So we ended up doing the last resort. Here's your smash treat. And she's like, ooh. And now my 2-year-old daughter can walk up to her, here you go, Kala. Here's your treat. And she'll do this with her little baby fingers. And she's like, thanks, tiny human. It works. I like it. It's my favorite. But yeah, that's all I wanted to go over because I felt like I missed that. I feel like those are also very important. But yeah, I'll send you the picture of the book for week 1. And that way you guys can practice that. There's also a bunch of different reading in here that'll help you along too. You know, getting to know what to do, extra pointers. If it's not in here, I could definitely help you with that. Like tips on socialization, socialization checklists, like handling new environments, unfamiliar people, new surfaces, like I was talking about before, sounds, objects with wheels. For some reason, some dogs really hate cars, really hate bikes. Like, how dare you with that wheel stuff? I'm just gonna eat it. Eat everything on it too. It's not human. I don't get it. It really freaks them out. Pretty much other objects, weather conditions, you know, thunder. It's very scary. They have no idea what's going on, and things are freaking crashing around like it's gonna end their life. They don't know what it is, so they're terrified. Unfamiliar dogs, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I will send you that, and hopefully that'll help you with anything. Read everything in there. If you want to read next week's and whatnot, I don't care. Just know that I'm just going to send you videos in the week order that I said I was. Week 1, 2, 3, 4. I usually don't change it up, just so I can go through my checklist. Did I do that? I don't remember. Maybe I should just follow the list, or make a new list, whichever. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful. If you ever have any questions, let me know. Try to help you through it, like resource guarding, potty, um, anything that you don't see on the list and you want to go over, just write it down and send me a message and I'll try to help you out.